When you buy a property, you have to pay more than just what the seller receives from you. Today, I will focus on the 4 main expenses you should plan in addition to the buying price. The realtor is the middleman between the seller and the buyer. He presents the flat, organizes the visits, and gathers documents and information. He then makes the appointments with the notary and for the handover of the keys. Realtors only get paid on a commission base when a flat is sold. The amount of work they need to sell a flat varies a lot and depends on many factors, like how many people want to visit the flat. In Germany, the maximum amount a real estate agent is allowed to require is locally regulated. In Bavaria, this amount is set to 3% plus VAT, which makes a total of 3.57% of the market price of the flat. Not the seller, but the buyer has to carry these fees, although this fact is currently politically discussed. Some sellers decide to avoid using an agent to make the buyer save money in order to require a higher price for their property. If they do so, it also means more work for you as a buyer. You will have to check the paperwork and co-organize the appointments. It is also harder to make sure a private person is not a fraud than to trust a well-known real estate agent. If the seller uses a real estate agent, you have no way to escape the fees. Trust me, don't even try it. Even if you feel you don't get a lot from them, they still do some work and they have to be paid for that. You cannot buy a property in Germany without an appointment with a notary. The process at the notary is very easy. There is only one appointment and one notary. Before the appointment, you receive a draft of the buying contract so that you can correct it, for example, if there is a mistake in your identity. You can also ask all the questions you may have. The appointment contains at least 2 parts, one for the buying contract and one for the charge on the land. Once you have signed the buying contract, you have no possibility to go back. So make sure before the appointment that your bank really accepts to give you the mortgage. For all this work, the notary usually costs much less than the real estate agent. The price contains a fixed part and a variable part, depending on the buying price, so each case is specific. For a flat, you may count with about 1% of the buying price. After the meeting with the notary, he will work with the register agency so that you are officially written as the new owner in the title register. This happens in several steps and may last a few months, so you will receive several bills from the administration. You should keep enough money on your checking account until you are sure there is no more bill coming in. The total price for the register entries also depends on many factors, but you should count with a total of about as much as the notary costs. When you buy a property in Germany, you have to pay a real estate transfer tax, which is calculated on the value of the property. This tax has to be paid before you enter the title register. In Bavaria, this tax is 3.5% of the buying price. During the whole buying process, you should have enough liquid money in your bank account to face all these exceptional expenses. Usually, bills have to be paid within a period of 14 days, so you will not have much time to transfer the money from a saving account to your checking account. If you need extra liquidity, it may be useful to enlarge your mortgage and compensate later with an extra payment. The buying process needs a lot of time during opening hours. If you are working, prepare it in advance. Maybe you need to take a day off for the appointment at the notary. You will also probably not be able to transfer huge amounts of money from your online banking. Make sure you can go to the bank counter if you need it to pay a bill.
Do you want to buy a flat in Munich? I give you knowledge about ownership in the city, a proven, successful preparation for your own flat. Subscribe and visit flatinmunich.de.